Hey everybody, DBS TCG Central here. Welcome to another deck profile video. If you guys saw today's thumbnail, you saw today that we're doing Android 16 created by Dr. Gero. I love this leader. This is actually my green deck that I'm playing right now, and I think it's super powerful and super competitive. It definitely is a cool leader for green especially, and it utilizes a lot of the Android 21 stuff, which is really cool, and it makes it actually playable in this deck. So it is a blue-green build, and it is awesome. Mine's a little different than everybody else's. There's a lot of people that do like a ramp version. I do like more of an aggressive build. I do get like one ramp out of the deck. Just puts me ahead of my opponent, and that's all I need because I like to do a lot of low energy cost stuff. So I'll show you guys my build, and you guys can tell me what you think. And I have taken a few matches with this thing, and I kind of migrated to a few other decks that I've been testing, but I'm probably going to jump back in with this guy for a little bit because of the new support from the anniversary box that just came out. But that being said, so on his unawakened side, he's Android 16. Permanent, negate the energy exhaust on Android 16 and cards with both Android and Scientist in all your areas. So really cool effect. So before you're awakened, you can use your multicolor cards, just put in your energy without tapping them. So really cool. This deck is full of Android 16s and Android 21s, so you're not usually, I've never ran into a problem with it at all. So auto, when this card attacks, you draw one card. Awaken, if your life is at 4 or less, or if you have 2 or more energy and a green Scientist Z battle card with energy cost of 1 in play, draw one card, switch up to 1 of your energy to active mode, and add cards from your life to your hand until you have 6 left. So I'll show you exactly how we do that. We do awaken early. It is a Z battle card that actually counts as the Scientist, and I will get to that next. So when you have those conditions, you can just awaken. And when he awakens, he's Android 16 created by Dr. Gero. So permanent, reduce the energy cost of a card with both Android and Scientist with an energy cost of 4 in your hand by 1 blue energy and 1 energy of any color. So it takes 2 less to cast any cards with Android or Scientist with an energy cost of 4 in their in my hand. So there's a bunch of Android 21 cards that become just insane in this deck. So we'll get to those after. But when you play a Scientist, negate. Okay, so when you play a Scientist, negate this card's permanent skill for the turn. So you can only do that once per turn, where you're playing a 4-drop Scientist or Android from your hand and reducing the cost. You can only do it once per turn, which is not a big deal because when you do play one of them, they're usually a powerhouse, and you have other things to do with your energy. So when this card attacks, draw one card. Active battle, use one of your Android 16 cards or cards with both Android and Scientist from your hand in a combo with its skills negated for the turn. So this turns all of your Scientists, basically your Android 21s and all your Androids that have a combo cost of 1 to 0. So all your multicolors, they cost no energy, so you don't have to, you combo for free, and they're 10k combos. So I'll show you some of the cards we use, and you can get huge numbers with this when you attack. Plus there's an inherent double strike for this deck too, which I'll get to after. All right, so we'll start with the Z deck real quick. So the one that helps you awaken that counts as a Scientist, I run 2 of, and it is Dr. Gero Android Creator. So this guy here is the promo that came out with this guy. So they came together in a little pre-release pack. It's got Deflect Barrier, so it's always coming out. It's pretty safe. Z-Stack 1, if you have 2 or more energy, a blue Android battle card. So I'll show you what we stuff under here from our Z deck in a minute. Add 1 card from your life to your hand and place 1 green card from your hand at the bottom of your deck. When this card is played, you draw 1 card. So this is to help self-awaken and a little bit of siphoning through your deck to get you some cards you might need, or something you don't need you can get rid of just to draw a card. for 1 blue and 1 green energy active main. If your leader is a Android 16 created by Dr. Gero, which it is, play up to 1 blue android with its energy when the energy cost of 4 or less from underneath this card, negating its keyword skills for the turn, and you can't play cards from underneath. Oh, and you can't play cards from your deck for the rest of the game. So that doesn't really matter in this version of my deck, but for some of the other versions that does come into play, but not for mine. So 2 of those. So the 4-drop android that we play that from our Z deck and place under this guy is this one here. So Android 21 in the Name of Hunger. So if you don't know what this does, it's got unique, it's got blocker, it has Z stack 2, and you can choose battle cards. You may choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards when this. You could choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards when choosing this card. When choosing cards for this card's Z stack ability. So, where it says Z stack 2 battle cards, when this comes out, if you pay 4 and play it, you can absorb one of their battle cards. It also takes effect, I believe. Is that a permanent? Yeah, you may choose up to one of your. The Z stack, I don't. So when this card, okay, so it's got an auto here. When this card is played, you may place the top card of your deck into your energy in rest mode. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and place it at the bottom of its owner's deck. So this is how you ramp. You'll be playing this turn 1 if you possibly can. Turn 2, you pay the blue and green energy, and then you play this card. Now it gets played with skills negated, so you'll only get the ramp from this, and then after it's out on the next turn, you'll have the active main here, which is once per turn, choose up to 1 keyword skill on a card placed under this card, and this card gains that skill until the end of your next opponent's next turn. So you could get, if a card that you absorb with this first ability, if you pay 4 and play it, if you absorb one of the cards and say it has like double strike or some kind of skill, once per turn you can choose it. So say you absorb something with triple strike, you give this card triple strike and you can attack, go for game, do all sorts of crazy stuff. It's actually the main reason why I run 2, just in case I want to play it and get that skill off. But mainly I play it under this card, and then I use the 2 plus the 1 green, 1 blue energy, play this to get my first ramp in. I'll at least do it once. If I want to get another ramp in, if I'm safe and I have some stuff going on, I'll play another one and then play this and then do it again if I have some free energy to do stuff. So that is pretty much staples for the deck. You definitely want to be able to ramp, so that's good. And like I said, again, if you're in a end game stuff and you want to play this to do absorb one of their crazy battle cards and then attack with it with like triple strike or whatever, you can do that too. Another android android that we run is Cell Awakening of the Created. So this is actually a 4 or less android, and you can put it underneath your Dr. Gero, and you can play it for 2 energy and still get these effects, the auto at least. So it will not have deflect and critical, but when this card is played, choose all of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 5 or less and place them at the place them under this card. So if you need to do that, or you could just play it for 3 and 2 Z energy, and it's kind of like a mini board wipe for anything 5 or less. Active main, once per turn, if one or more of your cards is underneath this card and you place all of the cards in their owner's drop, switch this card to active mode. Additionally, if you used this card's skill to place 4 or more cards in the drop, it gets triple strike. So if you absorb maybe 4 or more cards and you put them into the drop area, this guy will get triple strike, and it's pretty much a dual attack triple strike. So really powerful, and it's good for a board wipe if you're in a pinch. Next card we run is a little bit of barrier removal. So Beerus, if you don't know what he does, he is basically Well, I'll give you the auto. So when this card attacks, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost greater than their current energy and place it at the bottom of their owner's deck. And then this card gets plus 5,000 power for the turn. Active main, once per turn for 2 blue energy. If your opponent has 3 or more energies, switch this card to active mode. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and place it at the bottom of its owner's deck. And then this card gets a dual attack for the turn. So it turns into like a 15k, and then I think it turns into a 20k too after your second swing. And it basically gets rid of something with barrier, plus it gets rid of another battle card when it's first played that's greater than the current energy. So this is good for removal. It helps a lot when you're in a pinch and you need to get something out of there that has barrier. And we do generate a decent amount of energy, and we like to play the long game, so paying like 4 energy and then like maybe awakening depending on what turn you're on is not too bad. And then we run 1 Jiren the Immovable. So deflect, when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle choose one of your green battle cards with an energy cost of 5 or less, and it can't be removed from the battle area by your opponent's skills until the end of their next turn. So this is good protection for something. Say you're trying to go for game and you play this and they had some kind of removal when you attacked or something, this would stop it from happening. So it's a good effect there. Active main, limit 1, place any number of your Z energy place any number of your Z energy cards in their owner's drop area. Choose up to one of your opponent's unisons and remove markers from it for each Z energy placed in the drop area with this skill. Additionally, if you place 2 or more Z energy in the drop by this skill, this card gets 10,000 power and double strike for the turn. So it turns into a 25k double strike. This is mainly in here for some unison removal, so if anybody's got a cheeky little unison kind of running amok, you can play this and try to remove some counters from it. So this is definitely a really good card in the deck. There's also this Broly I'm thinking about squeezing in. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll remove one of these and see how it works in here, but this is really actually a great card. This is from the new anniversary box. But that's our Z deck. We'll get started with the main deck. And like, it's pretty, I mean, you don't have too much flex spots. I mean, these are your only 3 flex spots really, but you kind of need, I think these are your best choices for the deck. But if you guys think there's something better, feel free to check it out, or any suggestions, put them in the comments. All right, so the first 4 cards that we play, we'll start with the negates actually, yeah. So Dormant Potential, if you don't know what it does, your opponent attacks, you can negate. You can pay 1 energy, or if you have a unison out, this card is free. So when they attack, you play this card, and it doesn't counter the attack, but they can only attack 1 more time for the turn after this. We do have a bunch of blockers, so like if they do attack again, we can play a block, or we can do some arrival. Plus it doesn't negate the attack, and when they are attacking, say their attack gets through, you can do some arrival shenanigans and combo and put it in your Z energy and stuff like that. So really good card for the deck, and it acts as our floodgate. Next card that we run is Goku's Kamehameha Deflection. Really good card. If you don't know what it does, it's a counter attack. It's got limit 1, so that's why I only run 2. Negate the attack and choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 4 or less and KO it. So it's great. So like you can negate an attack and then kill something 4 or less. So it's such a good card. And there's another permanent here, but that has to do with a different deck, so we don't worry about it. Just the 2 of. I just need a few more like hard negates, because this one doesn't negate the attack too often. And then after that, we got 2 counterplays. Desperate Measures. If you don't know what this does, if the battle card your opponent is playing has an energy cost of 2 or less, it's returned to its owner's hand instead of being played, and then choose up to one of your blue battle cards with energy cost 3 or less and return it to their hand. So I opted on this card for stopping floodgates. So like Topo, Robotic Riposte, most floodgates, they usually cost 2 energy, and they're reduced because there'll be a 3-drop, like Topo's a 4-drop, but on your opponent's turn it costs 2. So this actually stops the floodgates from hitting, and it'll negate the attack, but then the floodgate effect will not take place. So this is really good. I run 2 of those. I opted on this other than a few other things just because it just takes care of it the way you want it to. For 1 energy, it's just a lot better. There's a green blue card that you could possibly use too that came out in a starter deck. I forgot the name of it. I thought I had it over here, but I guess not. The next card that we run is a Piccolo, Guardian of Earth. This is our unison for the deck. Just needed a little more draw power in the deck, I felt. And this way our dormant potentials are free. But if you don't know what it does, once per turn, if you have 1 or more Z energy, when your opponent's battle card is KO'd, this card gets 5,000 power for the turn. So you KO something, then this turns into a 20k. Active main, you +1, you draw 1 card. Active main, -1. This card gains dual attack for the turn. So if you want to get a few more attacks in, instead of drawing the card, you can do that. So this is a really good unison for drawing in green. That's why I run it. Just an extra couple of draws, never hurt nobody. The next card that we play is for Android 18, Speedy Substitution. Now, this does a few things, but mainly, well, I'll tell you both. So, auto, when you play this card, look at the top 5 cards at the top of your deck and choose up to 1 blue or green Android card from among them and add it to your hand and then shuffle your deck. Now, that is any blue or green Android. Top 5, and we run tons of blue-green Androids. So it gets pretty much everything in your deck. I will show you a little bit more of the cards, but everything in here is pretty much Androids for the most part, except for like these unisons and extra cards. So auto, when this card is, when you play this card, activate this skill at the end of your turn. You may choose 1 blue-green multicolor card in your energy and return it to your hand. If you do, choose 1 card in your hand and place it in your energy in rest mode. So this really helps if you charge something in your energy that you might have needed. You don't have to do this ability, but say you want to get that card to play for next turn. Maybe you need it for an arrival. Maybe you want to play it to do some damage. Say they play something and you need it to KO something. You can just switch it out and then put a card you don't need right in your energy, and it is good to go. It's amazing. I believe it ramps. Does it put it in rest mode? Yeah, so it puts it in rest mode. So you want to definitely use one that you tapped for energy. So we run 4 of those. Those are our searches. Next is our super combo. Our super combo here, I opted on this one here, Android 17 and Android 18 team up attack. This is basically red, blue, Beerus super combo. Super combo, energy exhaust. If your leader card is blue or green and it's your opponent's turn, when this card is used in a combo from your hand, switch one of your blue-green multicolor energy to active mode. So great for arrival. You'll combo with this, you'll untap an energy, and then you can arrival. We have a lot of low-cost arrivals I'll get to in a little bit. But it's just like untapping energy in green because our leader is green. So that is, I think, so crazy. But that is one of the cards that we use in here to untap some energy for our rival to keep going. We want to be more, this, like I said, this is more of an aggressive build. So we are trying to be aggressive with it as we ramp and be defensive. So a little well-rounded here. So the next card here is actually a new card from the anniversary box. Android 16, the Determined Choice. So this card's great. It's energy exhaust, blocker, arrival for 1 green. If your leader is an Android 16 card, reduce the combo cost of this card in your hand by 1. So it becomes a free multicolor combo. I know a lot of them are in here because of the leader ability, but before you awaken, you can use this to combo if you need to, which will help fuel your Z energy, or if you want to arrival early, So really good just in that aspect. Then it comes out for 1 blue. It's a blocker. Active main, limit 1. Place 1 of your Z energy into your drop area, and then you can choose one. So you can do this every time it's your turn. Active main, just once per turn. You can choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 4 or less and place it at the bottom of their deck, so a little bit of removal. Or choose up to 1 of your opponent's unison cards and remove 2 markers from it. So this is more unison hate. If they decide that they want to play a unison, you can remove 2 markers from it, no problem. This only costs 1 blue energy. So you have 2 of them in your hand. You have some Z energy because after you arrival, you'll be able to put it into your Z energy. Really, really powerful card. Really, really strong. I am going to test this one, I think, at my next locals. I've been doing a lot of Sell Max, but I think because of the new anniversary cards, I'm going to run a little bit of that. So the next card that we have here is Android 16, Companion of Desperation. So it kills me that I only have 3 foil. I need 1 more foil of this guy. So energy exhaust permanent. If your leader is an Android or Android 16 or an Android or a blue Android, sorry, negate this card's energy exhaust in all areas. So our leader is an Android 16, so this becomes a multicolor energy you can play in active mode. Because when you awaken, you lose that ability once per turn where you can put an energy, a multicolor in your energy untapped. So when you awaken, you need other ways to do it. So like this card's really good, and there's a few other ones too. And our solid color cards, like this Android and stuff, you're gonna start putting in your energy too. But if you don't know what this does, active main for 1 green energy, if your leader card is blue or green, or Android. So if your leader is a blue or green Saiyan or an Android, and your opponent has 2 or more energy, play this card from your hand. So it has to have 2 or more energy. You can play this for 1. It's a 15k attacker. Active main, if you KO this card, choose it to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 5 or less and KO it. So it's a 1-drop beat stick. You don't have to arrival this one, but it's mostly going to be used to be put into your energy, but also because your leader ability takes once per turn, takes the oh no, it's not once per turn, once per battle takes the combo cost away. It's a free 10k combo, which is absolutely bonkers. And I don't know actually if it's one. Let me just double check and see if it's once per turn. Reduce the energy cost. No limit 1. No, so it's active battle. Use 1 of your Android 16 cards with a... Yeah, so you can. So basically, when you're awakened, all of your 10k combos that cost 1 cost 0 in all the cards. You can use them in the same battle many times. You can do all sorts of stuff. So it's definitely a powerful deck in what it does. The next card we run is a TP card. I got a special version of it, I believe. Yeah. So this card here is Android 16 Stalwart Defender. Energy exhaust, arrival for 1 blue energy. When this card is played, you can't play copies of this card for the turn. You can choose one, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 4 or less and KO it. If your leader is a blue Android card, this part doesn't matter here. So basically, you're just doing the choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 4 or less and KO it. So when you arrival, it is in the middle of the battle. So if they're swinging with something crazy, like some kind of 4-drop that might have double strike or something nuts, you can literally combo, play this card, and it just kills it and ends the battle. So it's a good surprise, and it's just super powerful. I just wish it wasn't limited to 4 or less, but that might be overpowered if it was 5 or less. So this is definitely a super strong card. The other ability here is you could choose one, but you always choose that one because the other ability, your leader needs to be blue, and ours is green. So it does not really matter. So we run 4 of those, and again, this is a 10k 1 combo cost card. So if you have a bunch of these in your hand and you're awakened, you can literally just be like, without drawing, super combo, super combo, super combo. So 10k, 20k, 30k. It's actually bonkers. And then I have a few more androids I'll get to in a minute, 16s that I'll get to in a minute because they're kind of a little bit of tech I run. But the next card that I run that's a must in this deck because it's the main reason I ran it is this card here, Android 21 Total Audacity. So this was for the Android 21 deck. It came out in set 20 and it's amazing in Android 21. But in this deck, it only costs 2 energy, so it's totally worth it. If you don't know what it does, it's got Deflect, Double Strike. It's a 20k. When this card is played, you draw 2 cards, and at the end of your opponent's next turn, play one clone token with 10,000 power in your opponent's battle area. So that part doesn't matter, but a 2-draw 20k Double Strike that draws you 2 cards is bonkers. Like, that's absolutely nuts. It's just super strong. Drawing 2 cards, like say the ape, like the golden, was it the golden ape? Like Great Ape Goku. That card, you pay 2 energy, you remove it from your drop area, you draw 2 cards, but that's all you get. This, you get a 20k attacker, but not only that, it's Double Strike and it's Deflect, so it always comes out, and you draw 2 cards. So really good card, and it's reduced by your leader by 2, so it's only costing you 2 energy, which is crazy. And another crazy card for the Android 21 deck that you can run in this deck is Android 21 Full Power Counter. So this card is bonkers as well. It acts as some barrier removal. So Energy Exhaust, Double Strike, Counter Attack, play this card. So you play it on the Counter Attack window. Permanent, if your leader card is a blue Android card, negate this card's Energy Exhaust in all areas. It's not a blue Android, but you can use your leader ability's front side to play this in your energy untapped. So just crazy in that aspect. And then auto, when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier and place it in its owner's drop, and your opponent can't attack with non-leader cards for the turn unless they place 1 card each from their hand and Z energy into their owner's drop each time. So this is your floodgate for the deck. So every time after this is played, they attack, they have to take one card in their hand and 1 card in their Z energy and put it in their drop area. So maybe they're like, you're like, oh, okay, it's only 1 card each. Like, by the time you play this, unless they're generating crazy amounts of Z energy, they're just not going to be able to attack at all. It's going to be absolutely bonkers. So, you know, most people only have 2 or 3 Z energy at most. They'll get 1 or 2 attacks and then that's it. So this is, and it removes something with barrier, so it's just crazy. And then it's a 25k Double Strike attacker. So you got another Double Strike attacker out for next turn. So just crazy, like really good cards. It's like blue-green good stuff. Okay, so now we'll talk about, well, I got 2 more negates here. I'll talk about these. I do run 2 homicidal clones. It's just really good because you're at 6 energy a lot, and if you need more hard negates, like I said, it's all about the hard negates. I love them to death. So I run 2 of those. I might bump it to 3. I'm not 100% sure yet. I love the cards so much. A little bit of tech we will show you here. So I run 1 of these. So Android 16 Steadfast Ally. If you don't know what it does, Energy Exhaust, Double Strike, Arrival for 4 energy. It's one of the reasons why I only run 1. When this card is played, add up to 1 Android 21 card from with energy cost 5 or less from your deck to your hand, shuffle your deck, and then choose up to 1 Android 21 card with energy cost 5 or less from your hand and play it. So you're playing this card for 4, and then you're playing a 5 or less Android 21, and I will show you which one that is in 1 second. Auto, when this card attacks, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and discards it. So it's a 25k Double Strike it searches you out a 5 or less Android 21, and then you can play it for free. It doesn't have to be the one you picked from your hand. As long if you have another one in your hand, you can play that one. It's just first you're searching for one. If you don't have one, if you have one in your hand already, you can just play it. So the Android 21 that we play is this from the starter deck. So if you don't know what this does, it's Android 21, a Bad Omen. Usually you can play this card from your energy for 4, like 2 blue and 2 green energy, which is fine. So if you do charge this, you do have that option too. Choose one card from your energy and place it in your drop area. When you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and up to one card in your opponent's life and place it at the in its owner's drop area. So basically, you get them down to 1 life, maybe 2, or whatever you want to do, and you play this card from your energy, and you just zap that last life away from them, no problem. This being able to go search it out and find it and put it in your hand in case you didn't see it, that's why I run one of those, is awesome too. So if you have it in your hand too and you play this card first, and then you can play that and then play this, say you need another swing in or something like that. Just very, very powerful cards. Very, very powerful. I do have some more boss monsters here that I run. This is the main reason I do not run the ramp build, because it prevents you from playing battle cards more than 25k. So, but I do run 3 of these: SS Son Goku and SS2 Son Gohan, Father and Son Solidarity. If you don't know what this card does, it is a powerhouse. It is a monster card. It's got Deflect, Double Strike. When this card attacks, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO it. Then your opponent places 1 card from their hand in their drop area. So they're losing a card from their hand. You're killing something with barrier. It's got Double Strike. It's a 35k. Once per turn, if it's your turn, your opponent has 3 or more life, and this card is in a battle. When you use one of your green Son Goku cards with combo cost of 1 in a combo, your opponent places 1 card in their hand into their drop area. So say you have another one in your hand, you're going for game. Oh, actually, this doesn't have a combo cost of 1. So if you did have a Son Goku with a combo cost of 1 and comboed with it, you would get them to drop another card. Unfortunately, we do not run another Son Goku in here. It's more Android focused. Auto, once per turn. Oh no. Active main, limit 1 for 2 green energy. If your leader is green and your opponent has 3 or more energy, play this card from your hand and it gains barrier for the turn. So it's already got Deflect, and then when you play it, it has barrier. So it's barrier, Deflect, Double Strike, 35k, and they discard a card. Boss monster. Huge, rugged. I usually win with this card, but there's so many other ways. With the 21s having Double Strike, this one here and this one here. And just to cap it off, I run 2 of these. If you don't know what this does, it's Android 20 Vial Creator. It's basically a Champa for an Android, for a green Android. So when you combo with this card during your turn, choose up to one of your attacking green Android cards, and it gains plus 5,000 power and Double Strike for the turn. So it gives it, you pay 1 energy, it gets 10k and Double Strike. It's one of your green Androids. So this is a green Android. This is a green Android. This is a green Android. This already has Double Strike, but still a green Android. Your leader is a green Android. So if you need to go for game and you have a leader swing, you can use it on your leader. It's bonkers. And I also run 1 more card in here, 1 more 16. It's kind of a surprise. It's kind of my overwhelm for the deck for the most part. Right here, if I'm going for game, I run this guy. It's Android 16, a new start. Energy Exhaust, Revive. So if you do want it to come back or it gets KO'd, you could just discard a multicolor card and it'll come back to the battlefield in active mode. Active main, choose 1 blue-green multicolor card in your energy and place it in its owner's drop area. and you can play this card. So it's a free 15k attacker, but it is a green android. So say I want to go for game, it gets played for free. Maybe I have an energy open, I can give it double strike and go for game with that, and then I can combo for free my 1ks up to like 100k. You know what I mean? So it gets crazy, and the combos and stuff you can do with it is just really, really good. And our secret rare for the deck, this I actually got a crazy deal on. I actually met some guy about an hour away, or 45 minutes away, who lived in Maine, but he was coming down. Talked to him online, and he sold me this for very cheap, plus a few trades. It's Android 21 Transcendental Predator. So ultimate energy, exhaust, deflect, dual attack, blocker. Increase the energy cost of this card in your hand by 4 in all areas other than your hand and your battle area. So what's crazy with this is if you have it in your hand, you can play this. It can't be searched out because it's not a 4-drop in your deck. It's a 4-drop in your hand though. So say you whiff or you find something, whatever, you could play this and then play this, no problem. Also, you could just pay 2 energy instead of 4 to play it because of your leader ability. So this card is nuts. It's absolutely nuts because it's a scientist, it's Android 21. It's just so good for this deck. Auto, if your leader is blue or green when this card is played, choose all your opponent's battle cards and unison cards, ignoring barrier, and place them under this card. For every 2 cards chosen, you may add the top card of your deck to your life. Now, notice it says for each card chosen, it doesn't matter how many go underneath this card. But for how many get chosen, so say they have tokens and tokens won't go underneath the card, or Z battle cards, they get, sent to Oblivion and they have no, they just get removed from the game. It's just the cards chosen. So if you choose, how many was it? For every 2 cards chosen. So if you choose 4 cards, you gain 2 life. I think that's how it works. Yeah. So you gain life with this, and then you have a 40k dual attack blocker, and also it's a green android. So when you attack, you can use the Dr. Gero to give it double strike. So it's a 40. So it'll be a 50k dual attack double strike. And if you notice, this is not like Champa, because Champa's for the battle. This gives double strike for the turn. So both those dual attacks will go through. So it'll actually just give it another 5k boost, because it says here it gives a 5k in double strike. So it'll be first attack will be a 50k double strike, and the second one will be a 45k double strike. So it's absolutely bonkers. This deck is just crazy. This is my more aggressive build, like I was saying. So like, I see a lot of ramp builds and like control-y builds, but I wanted to go as aggressive as possible, use as cheap energy as possible for the arrivals. They all cost 1. The most, this costs 2, and then when you go in for game, you can spend 4 just to like burn them alive. But the most expensive thing in this deck is this guy, if you need to play him going for game, and that's it. Everything else is free. Free, 1 energy. Everything's 1 energy. You untap energy with your super combo. And then your Android 21s, which are powerhouses, are 2 energy, and they draw you 2 cards. So it's actually just bonkers. It's so fun to play too, and this is a pretty consistent build, and it plays really, really nice. Put the secret rare right here. But yep, that's the deck profile. Tell me what you guys think. It was running a little late, so I'm probably going to cut this short. But if you guys like any of the cards you see, I do have some on my eBay if you guys want to check it out for sale. I also do have a Facebook and Instagram, so if you guys want to check that out, feel free. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.